Welcome, guys, to another edition of the Monday Market Report. This is for the week ending November 28th, 2021. I am your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Final Monday Market Report of the month of November. My, how quick things progress through the holidays. The market has never been more robust, more inviting, I guess, in spite of a few of these pretty insane sold prices. But as you can see, from recent Monday market reports, you'll see that everyone is jumping on board as expected. And yeah, the market, it's a great time to be alive if you are in numismatics right now, whether you're a buyer or a seller. It seems to me that yeah, you're certainly getting what's deserved out there. A lot of premier examples have been hitting the marketplace in the last 30 to 45 days. This week, no different. But in any event, yeah, we're going to take a look at the coins. We have 18 of them from great collections who have sold here last week. We only have about 4 Monday market reports for 2021. Has it been a year? But if this is your first time here, just to let you kind of know what goes on here, we talk about post-1900 modern U.S. coins, primarily graded examples to have sold for the previous week. And I do this once every Sunday night, Monday morning. It gets out there for you guys to take a look at, kind of gauge the overall health of the coin market. Compared to a lot of other collectibles, coins hasn't really seen any sort of retracement, which is nice. It just shows that, you know, a lot of this crypto money and investment money. God, I can't even talk today. You know, coins is certainly one of those you know, safe haven type of commodities, along with gold, silver, and all that great stuff. It's physical form, and that's what people love. And people are really certainly putting together a collection, and you know, the portfolios have been massive coming out of the numismatic market. All right, so without further ado, again, all of the items coming from great collections. If you are interested in purchasing some pretty nice coins, great collections might be your place to be. You know, as a seller, their consignment services can be easier. You just reach out to those fine folks at GC, and they will hook you up. If you got some nice pieces to sell, all right, they could get your coin to market faster than any other consignment service out there. And you know, if you don't have to fumble with eBay, why not? It makes it even better. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in, guys, to the first coin. And 1972 Lincoln Memorial Cent. This is the doubled die obverse type. If it is FS101 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, of course, this is like the big one of modern Lincoln cents. You know, miraculously, it's also quite available in all grades, which is nice. If you're looking to add one of these to your collection, you could spend as low as a few $100s to get yourself a really nice about uncirculated example. I mean, there are far worse coins that you can get for $200, but in terms of really, you know, putting your fingerprint on something that's meaningful, this is a great coin to have. Now, when it gets into much higher grades, like this Mint State 66 that you see here, the conversation really turns from just having a great example to having an example that far exceeds a lot of others' expectations. And at this grade, you're going to find minimal issues. This one is absolutely clean. There are a few really tiny small nicks, nothing that I would say undisputed that is, you know, distracting of any form. You know, I mean, this is a really nice market acceptable piece if you're looking for it. Of course, you'll see a lot of the doubling in the date, Liberty, and also the motto. It's quite strong. It's one of the strongest, more common double die. I would say 55 would be the next kind of like best thing. But as you guys know, a coin in any sort of grade is going to set you back at least $1,500. This one right here is also in a PCGS older generation holder. I believe it's the first generation original greenie. It's not a rattler. It's got the modified, I guess, insert in there. This one sold for $1,743.75. Just a beautiful coin. And yeah, if you don't want to pay the kind of money to get a 67 or higher, I mean, this is a good kind of middle of the road coin that is going to be not only stunning, but it's also going to be easy to liquidate when that time comes. All right, so we have other coins on the list, obviously, that fit a completely different profile for its, I guess, buying audience. All right, this 1940D here is one of them. Okay, nothing like the previous coin we just talked about. There is a very specific audience for these, and that is the registry set. Some of you have asked me, well, why do all these, high mintage modern coins sell for so much money? Okay, you always hear, YouTubers say, oh yeah, you could sell this penny for $2,500, you could sell that nickel for $10,000, so on and so forth, and it just seems really far-fetched. But really, the biggest audience for every single one of these coins, okay, short of like a nice variety or error or something to that effect, or key date, is going to be a specific crowd that puts together the finest set of whatever respective series that they're collecting, okay, whether it's Candy half dollars, Washington quarters, Lincoln cents, Jefferson nickels, and even Roosevelt dimes. All right, there's dedicated collectors, and they want the finest specimens, but they're not alone. There's normally a number of people that are vying for such a coin, and that's why 2-3 people get into a bidding war. It really jacks up the prices of some otherwise mundane type of dates. 40D is one of them, okay, made into the millions. However, look at the grade. Mid-State 68 full red. It's even got a little splash of light toning on the reverse of the coin. But this is a creme de la creme top pop coin right here. And it's sold for $7,762.50. Again, don't ask me how or why. I just told you the registry set is a mother in all of this, and is giving birth to all sorts of expensive, some would say undeserved type coins. But again, now kind of the big secret to these. And same goes for this one. This is a 36S. Now, San Francisco is a little bit tougher once you get into the 30s. However, this one's pretty nice. Again, a just prohibitively rare type of grade, Mid-State 67 plus, full red, even though the date in itself is not rare. Again, this is going to fit into a registry set, and this example sold for $6,468.75. Now, when you get into these type of dates, 19 teens, Denvers and San Francisco's, and as long as they're like red browns or full reds, they're going to have quite a bit of collectability to them. All right, this is one of those coins. Craftsmanship-wise, it looks nothing like the previous few coins we looked at. This one looks far worse than those examples, but that's just a sign of the times. Okay, the quality control, the type of dyes that were being prepared for these. After a number of years, they begin to kind of lose their, interest. Back in the teens and 20s, especially the 1920s, where a lot of just really mushy strikes happened. This one right here, though, Mid-State 66 red. It's also a Denver minted coin, not one that you see raw that often, if any. I mean, it is a lottery coin. This one right here is also part of the Sunset Collection. Week number 167 already. And this one sold for $3,840.22. For this particular date, there are, I believe, 66 pluses and 67s that do exist. So as far as just getting an example, just getting your hands on one, sometimes means you're going to have to settle for something like this. And even still, it's not cheap. And you could say the same for any 1900s era Indian head cent, especially in full red. This is where things begin to get kind of out of control. This one right here is a Mid-State 66 plus full red example. It's a 1907. Again, I believe between this and the 1903 or '05 or one of those dates, I mean, they are some of the highest minted coins that even rival some of the Lincoln Cent mintages. So not at all rare. I mean, you could buy a really rough kind of like album filler type coin for under $1 of this particular date. But where it begins to get really scarce again is the full red examples. You're not going to really find these out there in circulation. You might have a sliver of a chance finding one at a coin shop that just don't know what they have, or they just don't do the grading thing. So that's another possibility. So this Mint State 66 Plus right here sold for $2,559.38. Really stunning coin in this grade. Now the one series that has just continuous, just punchy popularity is going to be the Buffalo Nickel series. I mean, this series has been incredibly popular for a few decades now, and I think even today it still continues to show lots of just big price swings. Furthermore, the market is certainly drying up for some of the more scarcer dates in the highest grades. We've seen some like Mint State 64, 1920s Buffaloes sell for quite a bit of money, you know, whereas 20 years ago, you know, you pick one up for under $200. But this is a 1930. It's a Philadelphia minted example. It's a Mint State 67, so that grade in itself matters tremendously. Just a beautiful coin. 1930, I'd say, is the kind of like final date before things begin to get a little bit tougher. You know, once you get again into the 1920s, you know, you don't find them in Mint State condition raw as much as you want. This example right here is sold for $1,687.50. Case in point, this is a 1928S, a considerably tougher date, even though it's a late 20s example. I would say 29S is about as hard to find as this 28. But this one right here, again, I mean, you know, it's really, it looks like just a regular coin, right? You know, 1920s Buffaloes have the pitfalls of having just like weak luster. The strike can be a little mushy on some dates. This one right here, you can just see some of that mushiness in the strike on the obverse, especially here. I would imagine there was probably some die clashing at one point. But this one right here is a PCGS Mint State 66. This kid fit a registry set roll, and possibly, you know, could also fit a just a collector piece, you know, one that is a typeset piece. This would be a good example without getting too crazy. But this is a tough date. And to give you guys an idea, in this grade, 66, it's sold for $9,639. I would say if you're looking for affordability, you'd have to go back like Mint State 63 and something like this. And they don't look that great, I'll be honest with you. And again, it has to do with the strike and the luster. 1917, so we're still okay here, but you begin to see some of that that mushiness in the strike. Notice how flat it is right here on this the hair braid in this area right here. That's kind of par for the course for most of these mid-teens type of Buffaloes. This one is a 66 plus CAC certified. I mean, it's not nearly as pretty for the grade, but we got to keep in mind we're in the teens now. So the quality kind of takes a little bit of a dip in these particular coins. Again, this is Philadelphia, so that says a lot. I think the Denvers and San Franciscos show a little bit better quality, but you're not going to be able to just find one of those out in circulation or at a coin shop. Your best bet is just to buy one graded already. A lot of the good ones, I'd say, have been graded. This one right here is sold for $2,694.38. And the final Buffalo of the list is going to be a 1915. All right, so this is actually not as rare as it looks. I own personally a Mint State 64 of this date and probably end up paying like $125 for it. But it looks good. It looks just as nice. It does have a few more, I would say, of those planchet nicks and various types of other marks associated with light circulation wear. This particular example is a mint state 67. As you can see, it's just, this is the beast of a coin for a registry set system. And it's sold for $1,743.75. The strikes on 1915s are always a lot more better. The closer you get to the first date of Buffalo Nickels, which is 1913, the strikes have just been amazing. The dies have been worked over tremendously to where they always have this really nice sharpness about them. But this one right here, yeah, not particularly rare, but you can see that in the 67, they seem like they're a little bit more affordable than some of the other dates. So there you go. That's the last Buffalo of the list before we head into one of the other top tier obsolete coin series, and that's the Mercury Dimes. Now this one I've talked about on a number of occasions. It's the 1945 Micro S. So this one is the smaller mint mark variety. This one is a mint state 65 full bands, and it's also CAC certified. Just a brilliant blast white example. You know, again, you could do a whole lot worse if you're looking for this particular date. Strangely enough, it does have full bands, but it's a 65. I've talked about this coin in 66, 66 plus. Here we are with the 65, and it's sold for $1,096.88. Here's another common date, much like some of those Buffalo Nickels. This is a 44D. All right, these are generally well struck, but this one, boy, has some toning, that originality really showing through on the obverse of this coin. This one is a PCGS mint state 68 full split bands. You can just see the sharpness of the especially the middle set of bands here, where you have that defining line, but all the other bands going the fascies. The vertical sticks, bars, whatever you want to call these bands, all look pretty nice and separated. Pretty well struck, as you would expect for a 44 Denver. This one right here with the toning, all right, always a plus, sold for $2,283.75. Here's a 43 in much the same grade, mint state 68 full bands, but this is kind of like strange, all right, compared to the 44D. 43 Philadelphias are pretty nice, but you can only find them really nice in like 67 and under. 68s are pretty tough to find, plus you also have some of the original toning on here, which gives it some extra eye appeal. This one sold for $10,968.75. And the final 10-cent piece of the bunch, okay, I don't talk about barber dimes that often, but we got one right here. It's a nice one, too. 1900, it's a Philadelphia coin. So, you know, outside of that, it's a relatively common minted coin. But finding one that is this high a grade, which is a 66 plus through PCGS, that's a little bit tough. Plus, it's also got some toning that looks like it's developed over many decades. This example also is a Sunset Collection piece, and it's sold for $2,082.38. So we have some just abnormally rich Washington quarters this week. Every single one of them, high minted. All right, there's not going to be one that you could say, oh yeah, there's a 32S in there, or there is some funny variety, or something to that effect. No, every single coin on this list, high minted. A lot of them were preserved in high mint state condition. The real kind of challenge is going to be finding one that is absolutely hammered. The strike has to be perfect. It has to be generally mark free, save for a few little planchet nicks. And toning is going to be a huge factor for these. Washington quarters, as you guys know, is a huge segment in U.S. coin collecting today. All the way up to, you know, to the coins that we have out here in 2021. I mean, you see just a collector base for some of these 2021 mint errors that, you know, the series in itself is just loaded with potential. Here's the 1947, again, not a low mintage coin. These things were minted into oblivion. I have a mint state coin example of this date in my album as we speak. Probably a 66. Really solid. I cherry picked it myself. But it doesn't have toning like this one does. That one looked like it came out of a BU roll. Mid-State 68. There's really not a whole lot else you could say. This thing is a perfect grade for this particular date. There are none higher, I would imagine. Sold for $11,874.38. It's just an obscene amount of money. But it doesn't stop here. We actually have a few Washington quarters, including a 1940. A pre-war example that was, minted tens of millions of this particular date. But again, look at that score on the slab. Mid-State 68. This is a top-notch affair. Love it or hate it, it's got a little bit of light yellow toning in there as well. Sold for $5,918.62. And here's a 34, kind of similar to the 1940 that we see before it, especially with its progression of various tone colors on there, which are all kind of like on the least desirable side of things, kind of like that light golden yellow type toning is the first progressionary stage of toning. This one is right there, kind of like a milky white haze in some instances. This is the heavy motto type. Now there's 3 different mottos, okay, going from the light motto, medium, and then the heavy, which is, the letters are thicker in the motto right there. This one is a little bit tougher, I'll be honest, but you can find all 3 with enough searching if you wanted to. This one right here, Mid-State 67 plus. Yeah, this is a top-notch grade right here. Sold for $7,143.75. Okay, and then we're gonna end it off on 2 Standing Liberty quarters. My favorite series. Probably a top 5 for me. I just love the way these look. It truly is U.S. coinage personified with this particular series. This is a 1926. While a Philadelphia minted example, they can be a little bit tough to find quite this nice. Now, this is an NGC Mid-State 66 full head. All right, so it's got the ear hole, it's got all of the defined hair curls and all that stuff on there. So this one, and the rivets look good. All right, there's no mushiness to this area, which is quite common on SLQs. Just a really nice blast white coin, probably will end up in a registry set, but some would even argue that this would also make a great type coin as well, right? If it's anything else other than 28, 29, and 30, which are like the common dates of Standing Liberty quarters, people will like it. This one realized $2,739.38. And the final coin of the week. Man, this is a beauty, but this is a coin that I don't talk about that often. Now, I've talked about type 1s of this specific date. I've even talked about 1916s, which is a 52,000 mintage example that is quite scarce in today's market. However, how about a type 2, 1917D? Type 2, of course, has the breastplate on Liberty. It's got the 3 stars on the reverse, whereas the Type 1s do not have it, and the eagle is actually designed lower on the reverse here. But wow, what else can you say? It's got the originality, it's got some pretty nice toning that is quite original for the coin. Mid-State 66 plus full head example. Full head is the major strike designation that you want from these coins. It guarantees value, guarantees quality. It just has everything going on with it that you want for a collector coin. And because of that, this coin is sold for $9,905.62. But that's going to go ahead and do it. But before I let you guys know, I want to give you guys a quick little update for the Blue Ridge Silverhound small holiday giveaway. Okay, that has been postponed until after the new year. Okay, with just everything going on and everything going on the live coin Q&A channel, we got a giveaway going on. Currently on that channel, we're going to be giving away, by the way, a really nice microscope, a USB style microscope. Okay, that's going to be coming up sometime here in the month of December. But yeah, December is going to be just ultra packed for me. but we're going to go ahead and do this in January. And the good news is, you know, January things begin to wind down after the holidays. Some would say, it's kind of ho-hum. Well, let's go ahead and spice it up a little bit with a really nice giveaway project for Blue Ridge. It's my pleasure. It's, again, my way of giving back to the community, whereas otherwise, you know, I would not exist if it wasn't for each and every single one of you, my loyal viewers. Even if you don't sub, I know who for you are. You know, you should really, you know, hit the subscribe button and hook up your boy Sean with some love. That's all I desire. You know, we don't have memberships. We don't have Patreon memberships. None of that stuff. We're just good old-fashioned content. But that's going to go ahead and do it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to today's video if you enjoy everything you saw and listened to. Hit the dislike button if you don't. I mean, let's be real. But Coinaholics, we are discovering together. Thank you guys again for all your support through 2021. And I will see you on the next coin video. So long, guys.